This week on the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast.
Wow.
This is at a yard sale a couple of weeks ago. It's a planter. So she goes, I want $10 for it. And I'm like, no, I'll do $5 because there's a crack in the back of it.
It looks just like your logo. That's crazy.
It's wild. I saw it as I was walking down the driveway. I'm like, I'm buying that.
You would have paid 10
totally
for it.
I would have.
Welcome to the Full-Time Flippers Reselling Podcast. I am Chad the Quirky Picker, and I'm here with my co-host,
Denis the Freaking Flipper.
Hey, Denis. Why don't you tell anyone that might be new to our podcast exactly who you are, where you're from, what do you like to sell?
I am a full-time reseller from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So go to Massachusetts and go all the way to the eastern part of the state. It's a little man-made island that sticks out in the water. Resort town. We're kind of slowly getting out of the tourist season. So things are starting to wind down a little bit. But I enjoy going to garage sales, thrift stores, state sales from time to time. And I love to sell anything vintage from my era, anything 80s, toys, electronics, old books, media. And I do some clothing as well.
Well, like I said, I'm Chad the Quirky Picker. I live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I basically yard sale and estate sales are my two big things that I do. I like to sell everything, especially if it's vintage and unique, maybe a little quirky. Today's show is going to be a good one. We have some no-lows and some bolos and some home runs and some strikeouts, but we also have some big news about the podcast coming up later in the show today. You won't want to miss that. Stay tuned. So how was your reselling week, Denis?
You're not going to believe it, but it was probably the best week of the entire year so far.
Wow.
I have no idea why. Every single item in my store, every category, old, new stuff, broken stuff, everything sold. And it was almost like mid fourth quarter. And I have a benchmark that I need to meet every week. Would you believe it if I told you that I tripled that number?
Wow.
It was that crazy.
Because that's not what I'm hearing from other eBayers on YouTube. And most people are saying things are down right now. So maybe that's because you got all the traffic.
That's this week.
Okay.
It is it's the complete opposite. I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to make it this week. That much of a difference just between 7 days.
Well, that's my conspiracy theory is, you have a good week and then they throttle you back down to bring you back down to earth. They don't want you to sell too much. So
that's exactly what's happening. I know. That's a perfect example of that. I said, oh, okay, it's Monday. This past Monday. And I'm like, I haven't had a sale all day. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, which is kind of rare for me. I usually get a little hot in the morning, Monday mornings, and then it kind of tapers off. This was nothing until 4:30. And then yesterday, we're recording on a Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, same type of thing, extremely quiet. And now today on Wednesday, same thing, just extremely quiet. 4 or 5 sales, real low dollar items, real cheap items.
Yeah.
So
did you run any coupons or sales or anything special last week, maybe to help that out?
No, I run a coupon all the time. I don't do sales. I send out offers. I promote. I didn't change anything.
Okay.
It just started off hot and ended off absolutely crazy. The weekend was nuts. Like all of my high priced items were selling.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird how that works, right? It can't just be a coincidence. eBay has to be doing something behind the scenes to,
Yeah.
I sold several high dollar items as well this week. I had a good payout last week on eBay. Just got in my checking account last night. And I have a new goal that I've set for myself. I want to match my paycheck from my full-time job with my eBay sales each week. So, and that happened last week. So
Awesome.
It's like, yeah. So also a couple of days ago, I noticed some yellow jackets flying around the roof of our house. So I'm like keying in, trying to figure out where they're coming in, and figured out it's the flashing around our chimney. And so I'm sitting there watching this hole where I think that they're coming in and out of, and it's like every 2 seconds, a yellow jacket's flying in and one's flying out. And there's a YouTuber that I like to watch. His name is the Hornet King, and he's local here to Lancaster. And all he does is he goes around and takes a shop vac and runs it for like an hour and just sucks up as many yellow jackets or hornets or whatever as he can. And then he goes in to a person's house and like removes the nest. Then he takes it home and feeds it to his all sorts of animals. But so I got my shop vac out, and I had to go to the chimney's like 10 feet up the roof. So I had to go to Lowe's yesterday, and I bought a huge section of PVC pipe and ran that up by the chimney. And then I duct taped it to the end of my shop vac, and I'm out there running it now. And I ran it for like 2 minutes, and I opened it up, and there was like 10 hornets in it already, or yellow jackets, I guess. So it's been running maybe for 45 minutes. So when this podcast is over, I'll go out and see how many I have, but that'll get rid of most of them. I did this one other time with a hornet's nest, and in 1 hour, they were all gone. And I never saw another yellow jacket coming in and out of the spot. So it's kind of fun. I mean, there's lots of ways to kill them, but this is pretty effective. Put a little water in the bottom of the shop vac with a little Dawn dishwashing detergent, and they get in that water and just kills them if they're not already dead by the time they hit the shop vac. So, yeah, I bet this one's big. And we were getting yellow jackets in our house, and my 4-year-old got stung a few days ago. There was one in the house, and he was just in the living room playing and started crying. And so my wife came in and saw the hornet right over top of him and got the fly swatter out and killed it. Viewer mail. Share at least one viewer comment. Dennis, do you have a viewer comment you want to share?
Sure. This is a quick one from BAA Sports Angel. And this was in regards to something it was my NOLO from last week. They say Poshmark is where you can sell ice cubes. So what they're talking about is the company called Breg, BREG, sells that little blue, it's like basically a cooler. And you put water and ice in it, and then has a pump that circulates that cold water to like a pad type of thing, where if you have a surgery and you want to ice it, knee surgery, they'll give them. But for some reason, they're prescription. There's no medication. It's literally a cooler with a pump that just pumps and circulates cold water. So I was talking about them last week, not to try to sell these on eBay. They'll get pulled almost immediately. Mine did. And I did not relist it because I don't want to get a ban or suspended. And then someone was telling me about Marketplace. No go on that. They also pulled it. But BAA Sports Angel says you can do it on Poshmark. So I might allegedly try it there.
Yeah, so, it's so weird that's prescription, because it's like the only thing I could think that would be prescription is that it's custom size to your knee. But that's like saying you need a prescription to buy a pair of pants. Yeah, shoes. Yeah, whatever. It's just
it makes no sense at all. It's just cold water circulating around your surgery site or like a knee operation. I don't know. I have those ice pad things for when I get sciatica, and I put it in the freezer, and then I put the thing on my lower back. It's not prescription. We got it off of Amazon. So I think it's a money grab. I think it's something that, they're like, no, we're going to make that prescription so people can't resell them. I don't know. Well, but thanks for the comment, and thanks for the tip.
It's interesting. Yeah. If it's RX, why Poshmark would let you sell it? I mean, maybe they're not calling it RX. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if Poshmark removes other things as well, or like how far can you push that on Poshmark? But you have a Poshmark account, right? You sell there.
Oh yeah. That's where all my clothing is.
Yeah. So that should be an easy one for you. Moving on to home runs and strikeouts. A home run can be your best sale of the week, best purchase of the week, or a great opportunity you had, and a strikeout is like the opposite of that. Worst sale, worst purchase, missed opportunity, or a blunder, or something that you missed out on. Do you have a home run for us, Dennis?
My home run isn't a grand slam by any means, money wise, but I just thought it was super cool. And it was only $1.99 at the little thrift store. And I bought that one right there. Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh,
Do you know that show? Do you
I
watch
love
that?
that show. Yep. It was
Okay, great. I knew you would. That's your type of comedy.
Yep.
And I found this Mystery Science Theater 3000 lunchbox with thermos. And it was almost mint. It was in such great shape for $2.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it because it's just wicked cool and I love the show. And then I looked it up and they're selling anywhere between $50 and $100. I marked mine at $79.99 with plus shipping.
That one's yours there?
Mine's in the top left here. Yep. And it was complete. Great, great condition. I got a message almost immediately that says, if I buy this, I would like you to pack it a certain way because I don't want it damaged. I don't want it. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'll wrap it extra in bubble wrap and I'll, make sure the box is big enough and all that. So the guy bought it like that, like no worries, done. And, packed it up for him and, gave me, positive feedback and that was it. So $1.99 into $80 plus shipping. I'll do that every single day of the week. It wasn't, I'm not going to say I was going to keep this, but let's say it was only worth like $5 or $6. I probably would have kept it, but
carry it to your lunch every day.
Yeah. Carry it downstairs to work. I wasn't going to use it. I was just going to display it. But as you can see, I have plenty of crap displayed here. I don't need anything else. I did, while you're on the topic, I did get this. How cool is that?
Wow.
This is at a yard sale a couple of weeks ago. It's a planter. So she goes, I want $10 for it. And I'm like, no, I'll do $5 because there's a crack in the back of it. Which, it's right there. It's a little chip. But, right?
You could cut the bottom out and wear that as a hat or wear that as a...
It's made out of like resin, like fiberglass resin.
It looks just like your logo. That's crazy.
It's wild. I saw it as I was walking down the driveway. I'm like, I'm buying that.
You would have paid 10 for it.
I would have. I just wanted to see what she would say. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. $5. I'm like, there you go. So, yeah.
That is so cool.
Very wild.
My home run, I had 2 of them this week. I'm going to do a twofer. The first one is this Tektronix oscilloscope. I believe that's how you pronounce them. I've always said it that way, oscilloscope. I got this from my neighbor, Tim. I think I paid up for it, maybe $30, $40, somewhere in that ballpark. It sold for, I had it listed for $229 and I took an offer for $150 plus shipping. Nice. So I had it for a while, maybe 3 months now in my store. And yeah, it was the first offer that came in. So I'm not turning down money when it's there. Who knows how long I'd have to wait for the next one. And my other one was my other home run, something I just picked up this weekend. And this is a Denis Bolo Nikon cameras. I paid $20 for this camera because I saw comps that said if it was parts only, it would sell for $40. And if it works, it's around $150. Now I don't have the battery charger, so you can only plug it in with the USB. If I had the battery charger, I just have a USB with that charges the battery that way. It's missing a little bit of paint here. I think that's paint. I don't know what you would call this coating, but and here as well.
Non-slip coating or non.
So it's missing that. And I've had an offer of 118 so far, and I counter offered, and then no one's bought it yet, but I took Dennis's advice and paid up for a digital camera, and I'm pretty sure my goal is 140, so I think that's possible.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's it's an S9100. So that first number 9 means that it's loaded with features. The higher that number is, we talked about that before, the more features it has. So it's yeah. She knew what she had too. She's like $20. She's like, yeah, and she goes, I'm not coming down because I know what it's worth. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it anyhow. I was going to offer less, but I'm not complaining. All right. Do you have a strikeout?
It's nothing that I can show you, but this is almost a weekly occurrence, and I don't know what else to do other than to stop selling breakable items. USPS broke yet another item of mine. And it was, I don't know how they did it. I asked the buyer, was the box crushed? Because it's the only way that this thing is going to break. It was a vintage mug. And she said the handle snapped off, and she showed me a picture of it. And sure enough, it was snapped off. So one of two things. One, she's replacing a broken one, which possible. I hope that's not the case. Or two, they threw this thing around and played soccer with it, because I have no idea. This thing was wrapped to the hilt with bubble wrap. And then I put a cardboard like sleeve around where the handle is. And then that goes into a box with void fill. So if you guys know any other better ways to package mugs, please tell me. It's not like my first time packaging mugs. I've probably have sold hundreds of mugs, but it's just been like, for some reason lately, they've been very rough with packages. It's just awful. So, and then of course they won't refund me. They want the item back, which it's not here. I can't bring it in to show them. It's such a scam. They say it's insured, but there's no way for you to get it.
It's so rare that you would ever get your money. And the hoops that you have to jump through and the questions you have to fill out, I don't even know the answer to half of it. You think I would, but so are you getting it returned so you can inspect it, or not really?
No, because I'll have to pay the return shipping, and then I'm just like, nope, just refund, write it off as a loss. That's all I can do. Yeah.
It's kind of a customer service too. Kind of falls into categories there. Yeah. My strikeout, another twofer. I think my son got this as a Christmas gift. It's a modern Disney toy. You know, these are mass produced by the millions, and it takes a degree just to get the thing out of the box. There's so many hidden little straps holding these toys in. When you buy these things, it's like nuts. But now we didn't think that my son would enjoy it because it only had 2 buttons, and he likes to steer things. And, I think the one button probably, when it goes backwards, it turns, and when it goes forward, it goes straight, kind of thing. So I had it listed for a long time, and I just took an offer of $10 and plus shipping. So they're not worth much. If you're buying this at a yard sale for like $5, you're not making any money on them. They're hit or miss, but most of them are, if it's pretty modern, they're miss. I think it was made by a company called Jada. Let's see.
Jada.
Disney Clubhouse Roadster. And my other strikeout was this Pioneer speaker. I bought 3. Normally I just buy any car speaker that I find, and a lot of them are good for $20 to $50 each. But these Pioneers, they're like thin door speakers. See the model number TS165? That 1 means it's bare bones basic, probably cheaper paper, cheaper everything. I got $10 plus shipping for it. I paid $5 for 4. I paid $20 for 4 of them, $5 each, thinking that I'd probably sell them for $50 a pair, and they're worth about $10. And if that thing gets returned, I'm losing money. So, for me, turning 5 into 10 is not worth it. All right. Next up is BOLOs and NOLOs. One thing to be looking for and one thing that you no longer would buy again. You have a BOLO for us?
I have a BOLO, and I don't know why. Okay. So just remember that. All right. Okay. Why do these sell for so much money? Intex vintage. Vintage. It is. It's vintage Intex. Intex is the company.
What?
And if you go to any yard sale, go to a thrift store, go to an estate sale, and you're looking through the kids' junk, and these are sealed, obviously.
Wow.
But dude, it's insane. And it's not just a couple of them. Look at this one from 1995. It's 60-inch beach ball for $400. Here's a couple here for 90. Here's another one that's a 48-inch, $140. I knew this bolo a couple years ago, and every time I find one, I do well. Here's a great little sale right here. 48-inch.
Yeah.
Intex. Yep. 60-inch giant inflatable from 1995.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like, and there's one for, well, that 42-inch one, brand new, so it's not vintage. So if you put the word vintage in there, you're going to weed some of these out. But 200. Oh my gosh. Yep. So it looks like 48 to 60 is about the sweet spot for vintage.
Yeah. I mean, 1983, $135, 185 for that one, 77 for that one.
The only reason I buy one is because it's still sealed and there's a barcode, but I would not, these are not even on my radar.
Well, they are now. I'm telling you.
Oh
so every time I go out, I try to find Intex.
Yeah.
Not all Intex sells. Okay. For some reason, large beach balls sell. I went out and I got a whole bunch of these at a yard sale for 50 cents. I'm thinking, this is great. 50 cents. This is going to be awesome. The little armbands for the kids to, you know, it's like $6. $6. That's it. So I have a whole bunch of these brand new in the box.
Yeah.
So not all Intex, but I can almost guarantee you if it's a vintage sealed beach ball, 48, 60-inch, 84-inch, whatever it is, you're talking hundreds of dollars possibly. So if you know why, please tell us in the comments. I think I know why. I've did a little research, but this is a family show and I'm not going to go there. It has something to do with the vinyl that it's made out of. A higher quality vinyl in the vintage stuff versus the stuff that's made today. So you guys can research that on your own. I don't care what you're doing with it. If it's $400 for a beach ball, I'm picking it up and I'm selling it. Yeah, it's a very odd bolo. I told you it was going to be. Yeah.
All right. You can, yeah. Well, my bolo is something that I found at an estate sale, and I maybe have $5 into this. And I think it's cool. And I'll bring it up to here first.
Oh, yeah.
Cap guns with the holsters. And
very cool.
They're vintage, and the brand is Kilgore Ranger. I don't know if that is in correlation with the Lone Ranger or not, but they're toy cap guns with ivory grips. I'm hoping that's an ivory color. Yeah, it's probably not real ivory for a toy gun.
No.
But as you can see, I sold these for $78 plus shipping. And you can't sell a toy gun. It has to have a orange cap on it. And I didn't have any orange caps, so I went and bought some. They're like earplugs. They're foam. I'm not sure if that qualifies or not, but it's supposed to be like a hard plastic orange cap. But these did not come with them because there was no fake gun. Kids getting shot for holding up fake guns back in the olden days.
Right.
I don't know what I mean. There's probably more to it than that, but this was a really good sale, like 5 into 78. And probably the holsters had a lot to do with it. I don't know if I can zoom in here. Oops, let's go back to full screen and see the designs on the holsters.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here somewhere.
Is that real leather?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was leather. Yeah.
It looks just like real. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Denis, what's your NOLO?
Well, I just came across this like 2 days ago. End of the yard sale. You guys have seen this. I've been posting on Instagram. I go by the yard sales and they're just, everything's out at the curb. I did find a couple of great items. Some Lego, I think it's Bionicle is the line.
Okay.
It's more like a mechanical figure, and they have like robotic kind of movements to them. And then the figures are usually like that big. I found one that's worth $50. It's a Star Wars one. And then I found a sealed Star Wars, the Black Series Trivial Pursuit game sealed. And that sold for $50.
Wow.
And then in the bottom of the bucket, I found a whole bunch of opened, used, semi-dirty and played with Funko Pops. I'm like, oh, cool. Grabbed all of those, brought them home. One after the other, after the other, after the other, I just put in the donate pile. There's just really not a lot of money for used, opened Funkos. So again, there's always an exception to the rule, but the majority I was finding like this one here, $5, you know, or $3.99, $3.99, $3.99. I'm like, I'm not going through all of that to list a $4 item when people don't want them used, unless it's super rare. They're not going to buy them used. Of course, here's a $25 one. I didn't get anything like that. Mine were all between, I'd say, $3 and $5.
It looks like Halloween themed ones might be a little higher right now. Look at those, $86 for that sealed one, $95 for.
Yeah, these were all opened. So
yeah, you're not going to get that money, but
if they were sealed, sure, I would have definitely have done that. But look, $8.95.
Yeah.
Okay, damaged box, and he's giving free shipping.
We sold it.
Probably, yeah.
It's $6 for shipping.
Oh, I know they're under 8 ounces.
Okay,
or right around that. So
then with the box,
$5.
Yeah.
You're making maybe $2. I don't know.
You've got, if you buy your boxes from eBay, they're like 70 cents now for an 8x6x4 box. Isn't that nuts?
Yep. And
you can't ship it in that box because, I mean, if you're worried about damage in the box, I shipped one time in 8x6x4 and the guy's like, the box got smashed.
Yep.
So it's got to be like 8x6x5.
They barely fit in those, and if you try to close the top, you're gonna crush the box,
right.
And people don't want them that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not something you guys should be going out to get. I know people love flipping Funkos, but it's something I never got into. I'm glad I never got into it. That I think it's actually, look at this, $3.24. I think it's going to be our modern day Beanie Babies. That's really what I think it's going to be. There's just so mass produced, and of course, there's always an exception. There's always going to be 1 rare, 2 rare, 5 rare ones out there, but the other 10,000 of them that they make one for almost every movie, every actor, actress, rapper, cartoon character, everything. What are you going to do with all of these? I don't know. So
I'm going to open them up and play with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a
probably
or give it to my kids to play with. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you like The Office, you can buy the cast of The Office. There's probably the cast of Lost out there. You should get all the Lost ones.
I haven't seen that, but I bet you there are. That has to be.
Yeah.
So that's my no, though. Like I said, exceptions to the rule with anything out there, but the majority, I'd say 99% of these, they're like brand new, $10, $12, used $3, $4, $5. So if that's your thing, then that's great. I can't waste the time with something with that low of a return.
Yeah. I was at a yard sale a few weeks ago, and they had 4 Funko Pops. And I looked at them for a split second, just walked right on by, and some guy walked right up, grabbed all 4 of them and bought them. So I didn't even look them up. So I'm like, I don't know if he was there before and comped them and then came back. But I'm like, there's no way. I think they were $5 each at the yard sale. I'm like, there's no way he's making, if he's a reseller, he's not making money. So he must have just been a collector.
So they do have lost ones. And let's see. Looks like brand new. They're not doing too bad. $23, $24, $25. Here's a whole set of 7 for $200. So that's not bad. I don't think I've ever seen these. There's another full set for a 225.
225. So there's 7 in the
Right here.
set,
5, 6, 7. Yeah.
but you can buy them for like one went for under
140?
10. If you buy them for $10 each, that's $70. You could sell it for 225.
Wait,
You can buy them on
225.
eBay.
And then I'm seeing them selling for about $25 each.
Well, there are, but
Let's-
there might be this Kate here down at the bottom, or that I'm seeing is only
Just $30 with free shipping. Wow.
Well, there's one. Maybe if you buy them at auction, you can get them. If you can get them for under $10, why not buy the set of 7 just to flip?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have all the shipping involved too, but
Now the price is getting lower.
all right. Okay.
But yeah, so they're definitely out there. I don't know. It's not something that I'm going to get into. There's probably some money in there, but the majority of the ones that I find are not worth it. So
especially if it's not if that's your interest and your love, then go for it. But
sure.
If you're looking to venture into new areas, it's probably not one I would recommend either.
No, definitely not.
My NOLO is women's clothing. I don't like selling clothing. This was something it was new with the tags. Karina, I don't know I have no idea, but it still had a tag on it. And my wife is like, I think it had I thought the price was on it. I thought. And it was like a couple bucks at a yard sale. And my wife's like, let's just buy it, see if we can sell it. I had this thing for 2 years sitting in my store. And someone finally asked about it. They're like, can you tell me the size, the length, the bust size, all this stuff? And I'm like, well, I'm going to hand that over to my wife. And she's like, I don't know how to measure it. I mean, because you almost have to be wearing it to measure it. And I'm like, well, I told my wife, put it on so we can measure it. She's like, I'm not putting it on. So I said, here's the size. And my wife's typically, if it's a medium or a size, whatever it is, 12, here's typically the size. I did measure the length, but I'm like, I don't even want to spend any more time talking about it. I took an offer at $12.
Okay.
So I don't like women's clothing, and I think women are picky when they buy clothing. So I totally expect this to be a return.
Yeah, you'd have to. I think statistically they do return more than men. So I don't know. However you're doing it, like I'll do all of my clothing on Poshmark, and I love how they do it. You got 4 days. You know what I'm saying? Like you got 4 days. In 4 days, if you don't realize that it doesn't fit, and plus they're not going to do returns for non-fit anyway. It's not one of the reasons why you can return it. If it's damaged, if it's not as ascribed, stuff like that, you can open a return. And then after 4 days, it's done. Yeah. That sale is done and over with. And whether they rate you or not, you're going to get paid. Yeah. So if eBay would just do something similar to that without this free layaway that they do for 30 days.
I mean, how many times, like you went on vacation for a week, and if something arrived, let's say you left on Saturday and you came home on Saturday. If something arrived on the Saturday when you left, you need at least 7. I mean, it needs to be 7 days plus 3. I think 10 days is probably
10 days.
10 days would be that way, And if you need it longer than, or if you're gone longer than that, you shouldn't be buying right before you leave for vacation.
Yeah. Agreed.
At least on eBay. Customer service. Talk about your most interesting customer interactions from the last week. Do you have any customer service?
I have a quick one where this is weird. I sold, those big calculators with the roll that you can print the stuff out on.
Yep.
This, I think this was a Canon.
Yeah.
Real nice. Still in the plastic. It was open box. Things never been used. I took it out of the plastic, took pictures of it, slid it back in the plastic, put it back in the original box, the original paperwork, everything was in it. So I listed it as open box. Shipped it out, guy opened a return, it doesn't print. I'm like, the thing was brand new, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I plugged it in, I pressed all the buttons. There was no roll for me to print,
Uh,
but when I hit the button, it made the noise.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, you know what, dude, return it. I'm not. He wanted a refund. I said, I don't do refunds. I will refund you when I get it back, in the condition that I sent it to you. Okay. He takes a grocery shopping bag, brown paper bag, rolls the original box in that, and sends it back. When I got it, the box was absolutely mangled. Half of it was folded down like that, and 2 corners were punched in. So I do returns, buyer pays shipping, but I accept returns. So I have a tool where I can deduct the amount of money I'm going to deduct him. So I thought it was fair. I read through what eBay gives you, like guidelines. Did this happen? Deduct this percentage. Did this happen? Deduct this one. So I went through it and I came up with 30% deduction for your return. Did it, sent it. He has not, he has not accepted the return yet, the refund yet. So what he's doing is he's battling it out with eBay. So I took pictures of what the box looks like. The box is mangled. So I can't sell it as open box now. I guess I can, but I'm going to lose money. It looks beat up. Luckily, the item wasn't damaged inside. So
maybe that's why he didn't want to return it, because he doesn't know how to pack.
Put it back in the box. I sent you a beautiful box that this thing was sent in. Just, it doesn't work. All right, boom. Throw it back in the original box and send it. It would have been fine. But no. So he's going to lose out on 30%.
I test all those. I put paper in them and make sure, because they print in 2 colors, a lot of them.
I didn't have one of those rolls. So
I have enough of those calculators that I'll just steal a roll off another one. Or I had one that came with a whole bunch of extra rolls too. That I'm selling with it, but I suppose I could always borrow one just to print something if I needed to. I have one right now I just picked up yesterday. I'll talk about that later in my story time. Customer service. I have several this week. It's kind of an interesting week. Kind of an update on that lock I sold last week. And the guy, it didn't have a key. It was a combination lock with a key that, in case you forget the combination, you can use it, I think, to unlock it and maybe reset it.
Okay.
I put that back up on eBay because a guy said cancel my order because I told him he didn't know it didn't have a key, and he didn't look at the photos, obviously. He would have noticed there was no key with it. So I canceled it, relisted it again without the key, sold it. When it got there, the person's like, hey, the combination on the back of the box isn't the actual combination. It won't work. I'm like, I didn't know it, but I don't know why, because it had not been taken out of the package. I mean, I could have, actually, I'll just show you. See how it's still attached?
Yeah.
But you did have access to the lock. So my guess is somewhere in the back here, there's a combination, or it's in the inside, I think, or in the back. I don't know. But, yeah, you cut this open here and then it tells you what the combination is. So it didn't work. And I'm like, well, then it almost looks like a key, doesn't it? Is that a key? It's a key. It has the key. It's not in the right spot.
Oh, I see it now. It's right there.
It's not in the right place. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I gave the guy all his money back and I said keep it. And now I wish I wouldn't have.
Because now you got the key.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why
guessing with the key, you might be able to modify the combination.
Right. I would think so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not now.
It's probably an ID 10T error. You know what that is?
User?
No. In computers.
Blue screen desk?
I worked help desk for a while when I was a computer programmer. So an ID 10T, if you spell that out, it says idiot.
I like that.
That was a code name for I'm talking to an idiot here. So that's one customer service issue that apparently I screwed up. Remember those gold 24 karat gold filled CDs?
Yeah,
I'm down.
those are awesome.
Down. Yep, I had 120 of them. I have 3 left, and the 3 that I have left had a cracked case, so I'm selling them as damaged. So some guy sends me a message and says, "Is the only option for these local pickup?" And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I went out and looked, and it says that it's either UPS ground or USPS, sorry, ground advantage or local pickup, because I give people the option. And he's from California, and he's like, shipping's not an option for him, but local pickup is. So I don't know what the deal is. You ever had that happen before where someone in the United States can't have it shipped to them? I'm like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. But that was the second
friend,
thing.
A neighbor, a relative. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's incarcerated.
So,
I'm trying to figure out a reason why you can't get mail.
Yeah. Well, no, he can get mail. He cannot. It doesn't give him shipping as an option for this item when he wants to see how much it costs. It only shows local pickup only as an option for him. It doesn't show shipping.
That might be something on his end.
Yeah, it has to be, because I double checked and shipping is an option. So
update your app, or is he in the United States?
Yes, Los Angeles. Yep.
Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next customer service.
Is it a banned item?
No.
California?
A blank CDR? I don't know. Would they
some weird California proposition, whatever hazardous item?
If somebody knows, leave it in the comments. Yeah. So I sold this item. It looks like a video card for a computer, but it's actually real. It's like from 1994. It's called Kentech, and it's some kind of floppy disk controller. I think you could plug like an external floppy disk drive into the back of it. This was back like in the Windows 3.1 era.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I sold this. Yeah. Right. I sold it for $29 plus shipping, and shipped it out the same day. And then the guy sends me a message, and he's like, yeah, cancel that order. He said, I added a bunch of stuff to my cart, and I didn't realize this was in my cart, and I was buying some other things. And then when I went and looked, it said that this was purchased too, and I didn't want to purchase it. I added it to my cart, and I wanted to check it out. That's how he saves things. And I'm like, sorry, dude, I already shipped it. So he did not accept the package when it arrived at his house. He did a return to sender, and it arrived back at my house. And I'm like, did I have a wrong address? I forgot that he had messaged me right afterwards. It was like a week and a half ago. So I didn't have to pay for return shipping.
Nope.
Which is better than him like accepting it and then opening up a return. So he saved me the return shipping cost. But I don't like to ship on the same day that I get paid for this very reason. But I don't have as much time at my warehouse anymore. So it came in when I was there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm shipping it. It's easy to pack and everything. So I wish more people would just not accept it if they know they're going to return it. And then my last customer service was kind of funny. This is like, they're called rod anchors. Let me see what they're called exactly. They're for construction, vertical threaded rod anchors. And I bought 5 boxes of these at a yard sale for $5 a box, and they sell for around $20 a box. But I took I've got them at $12.58. Well, I saw sold comps for $20 a box, but I'm not getting that price. I don't know who is. Maybe it was 20 with free shipping. So I got them for 12, and then someone offered me. I just put it on sale. Sorry, I had them for $13.98, but I have 10% off. Someone offered me $12 for 2 boxes. And they asked me a question. It's like, how do you deal with shipping? So when someone sends you an offer and they ask you a question, do you accept their offer and then give the answer to their question in the reply?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If they buy it and then start talking about shipping and can I do other things with the shipping? Can I change something in, they sent me the offer, right?
Right. Yeah.
I accepted it. You should have kind of maybe talked to me a little bit beforehand, but once they start, once I accept the offer, that's it. You send it, I accepted it. I'm going to ship it as soon as you pay. If you pay. Normally when I get all those questions, it's buyer's remorse. Then they start asking, it's probably not going to fit, or I don't know about this, or you didn't mention that. If they start talking about, oh wow, hey, the shipping's real high, can you do something about that now? It's
well,
no,
but they sent me the question with the offer, and it wasn't like in addition to the offer, a separate message. So it's not like there's a message string that you can reply to at that point.
Yeah,
the question
I have to do decline, and then I'll answer his question in that, and then I'll end it with, I'm only declining it because you're asking questions that are attached to an offer. I said, if I've answered all your questions, please send the offer again, and I'll accept, something like that. But yeah, it's weird how they do that. They send like almost like two things at once, and you're like, I can't. I can do one or the other. So I'll do it that way. Most of the time, I probably lose the sale because I'll answer their question and they will not rebuy it. But I don't know how you fix that.
Well, I basically, they ask how do I do my combined discount on shipping? And I replied back with a counter offer at $11.99. So 1 cent less than their offer, so that I could answer the question. And I said, I just put them in the same box, and whatever the actual shipping is, I had $1.
Yeah.
And then they declined my offer. So, I don't know what more you want. I saved you 2 cents. Plus, I'm not going to lose money on shipping.
No.
So
no,
just enough to cover my box.
Weight and dimensions. I don't, and that's what it is. I don't set the prices for shipping. That's done by the post office or FedEx or UPS. I don't set that. I get a discount from eBay, but that's mine. I pay for that for store subscription. So that's mine. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I pass along the discount, but I just charge a handling fee. Just to make sure I cover it doesn't maybe cover tax or eBay fees on a larger item, more expensive, but it covers the box and packing supplies most of the time. So my last customer service is, I sold this acoustic research speaker. It's an AR-4X. And these are like 1960s or 70s. I can probably look at. So I had it for $109. It's not a real desirable speaker because it's only a two-way speaker, and it needs to be restored. Both the tweeter needs to be rebuilt and the woofer. So someone sent me an offer of $70, and I accepted the offer. And then about 10 minutes later, I saw the payment come through. And then like an hour later, I get a message from the guy saying, I'm trying to pay for this, but it won't let me. So someone else bought it for full price.
No.
Like 5 minutes later, after I sent out an offer of 70, so someone paid 109 for it. And so even though I accepted his offer, until he pays, I guess it's still out there for sale.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Until he pays. So
that might be the second time it's ever happened to me, but it's been a long time since. What are the chances that someone buys that?
Yeah.
See, once someone starts looking at that item, I think eBay pushes it up in the search or something, and suddenly, because there's no way that's a coincidence. Because I have 2 of them, so I told the guy, "Hey, make me an offer on my other one."
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that was funny. Let's do a segment called Story Time. We do this every once in a while. An interesting story of a reselling event or a life experience that you're currently having. I'll go first. I went to an estate sale yesterday, and it was a hoarder house. And it was the worst hoarder house I've ever seen. I put a picture of the garage on Instagram.
I couldn't believe it.
Things were piled 4 to 5 feet high, boxes upon boxes. And you couldn't even see what was in the middle of the garage because there was no way to get to it. I was in the house, and every bedroom in the house was just piles and piles. The bathrooms upstairs were just full of stuff. Wow. I did find a Tyco slot car track with two Tyco cars in it. Awesome. I bought like 3 or 4 different stereos, bought an air purifier. I don't know. I paid $16 for everything that I bought, and I probably bought about 20 things total. Probably have about $400 to $500 worth of stuff. That Tyco track should sell for, if it works. I mean, I need to put it all together to make sure it's all there, but around $100 or more. I was pretty happy with the things I found, but I would have stayed longer at the estate sale, but it was like 45 minutes from home, and I already needed to be home like 20 minutes from when I was left. But I would have enjoyed digging around, but it was just so overwhelming. Like to get across the room, you just stepped on stuff. But there was lots of postcards, lots of old photos. Like I didn't buy any of this stuff just because I was just looking for electronics and things. I don't like these old photos, and they were real interesting photos, but they were like 2 inches by 3 inches. And they might've been, I don't know, 100 years old, some of them, of like maybe this family going on vacation. So they were points of interest. A lot of it were. Would you have bought that kind of stuff? I could have got it for free, really. Everything's getting thrown away today that didn't get sold.
Oh, I'd totally go back and just load up my truck with free stuff.
It was 45 minutes away, and so I probably I couldn't do. I didn't want to do it today. Too much other stuff to do, but
I mean, was there? Well, you don't even know because you couldn't even see into the rooms.
Yeah, every room had old postcards, some board games. I didn't see anything real desirable. Yeah. It was like a Pac-Man board game that sold for like $8, and this one had writing on the box. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with it. No. But lots of that stuff, lots of games, lots of photo books, photos, postcards. There was a couple boxes in the closet that held Apple 5.25 disk drives. Well, but they were empty, or they had China in them, but they didn't have the Apple computer stuff in it. Cause I'm like, the lady said, hey, go in there in the closet, cause there's 2 Apple boxes. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. And it just had cheap China in it. So in another room, but there was boxes. I went into a closet where nobody was. It was in the back, and I'm like, this is where you find the gems, hidden gems. So I picked up a box, removed it, and underneath there was like 7 posters from the 1980s. Some rock bands, Where's Waldo poster. I listed a couple today on my eBay store. I think $29 and $19 for the first 2. They were basically free. I paid such little money for everything I got, but yeah, old posters like that. I just grabbed those. I got a bunch of them in my death pile. So yeah, that estate sale, you probably would have, if I would have taken you with me, we would have been there, and time was no concern. I would have been there for a long time.
Yep. That's amazing. I've only found one of those types of scenarios where they're just like, start digging. And I'm in my heaven when they just like, grab a box, just start filling boxes. Okay. And then they're just, how much? I don't know, $25. Yep. And you're walking away going, this one item right here, just one item out of 100 just pays for everything. Yeah. If I could do that every week, it'd be amazing.
Dennis, do you have any stories that you want to share with us?
Just what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. We got that little puppy, which was an 8-week-old puppy. It's what now, 10 weeks? It'll be 11 weeks this weekend. And, my kids they go to school in the morning. My wife is a teacher. She's gone early in the morning. I work from home. So I'm up. I'm the dog dad from 7:30 until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It has been very difficult. I never grew up with dogs, so this is a brand new experience for me. As fun as it is, I work from home full time, and the dog will sleep, but not down here because it wants to explore and chew everything. It has been very difficult, to say the least, to get anything done, packing orders, running to the post office, taking pictures, just doing my daily stuff. And time, works the same for everybody. We all have 24 hours in the day and 7 days in the week. And when you start adding things to it, it just, you really, your time management skills have to be sharp. And I keep adding things to the plate. I didn't want the dog. I voted no, and I got 4 yays and me, then 1 nay. So I lost. So we have the dog. It's not going anywhere. So I have to shuffle things around.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a very bittersweet decision that I will be leaving the show. It's one of those things where I just don't have the time to continue, and I have to resell. That's my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do that, then there's no internet, there's nothing. I have to pay the bills, and unfortunately, I have to leave. I have other ventures that I'm kind of involved in, and I'm saddened that I have to. It sucks because it's a great show. We get a lot of compliments and a lot of return viewers and comments, but I just can't continue doing it. I do another show. I was invited to shows last week, which my wife is not happy about because I'm less and less and less engaged in the family and the responsibilities. And now with the dog here, it is a full-time responsibility for me. It's like having an infant. And it's just a lot right now. So I just wanted to thank everyone that has supported the channel. We're not going to end it. I just won't be able to be on it continuously like this. Maybe a guest appearance here and there. But I just wanted to thank everybody for the support. I want to thank everyone for watching and believing us. And Chad, I want to thank you for being an amazing co-host, doing all the behind the scenes work, all of the editing, week after week. And I know your life is super busy now as well, with a full-time job and young kids at home. And, I hope it can continue. I know that we had a couple of guests on that I would love to come in here and take my place. But again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Really enjoyed my time, and I really enjoyed the audience and the engagement that you guys and the love you gave us. So thank you. Yeah.
For those of you that follow Denis, you know that he is doing another podcast with one of his friends, Scott Fisher Flips. It's a Pints and Profits. And if you know Denis he has shared about his love of craft beer. And so they do they drink a specialty beer and they talk about reselling. And that's something that's like two of Denis's passions. And so when I saw that been watching this podcast, I'm like, yeah, if I don't know how Denis can keep up two podcasts, but that definitely is like your happy place for sure. And not that this wasn't, but I mean, you got that special relationship with Scott, and you guys, physically get together once in a while and hang out too. So I totally get it that if you could only do one podcast, that's the obvious choice for you to continue to do that. So yeah, I'm in the works of some things right now. I'm not sure if we'll have a podcast next week. I thought about maybe doing like another best of just to buy some time until I can get some things set up. But the goal is to keep this podcast going. But Denis is really, he's like, whenever I have a question, Denis almost always has an answer. He's well-spoken. He's a great guy. And he's going to be missed on the show for sure. I was a little sad. I was thinking about wearing black today just to mourn the loss of Denis. I always wear black. But no, yeah, it was a pleasure. I mean, really, you are you're a good storyteller. You're better than I am. You're well-spoken. So, I mean, you're going to be missed, but yeah, maybe if it does continue to go, whatever this looks like, you're always welcome back on the show anytime. So
thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you. So with that, this was the end of another show and episode 29 and Dennis's chance to say goodbye, everyone. Denis.
Bye, guys. Thank you again. From the bottom of my heart, really. Thank you. And I will see you out there. And if you have two passions that I do, reselling and craft beer, check me out. And I don't know, give me a thumbs up. We definitely need it. And continue watching this show too. There's so much good information. You know, it's all reselling, and it is just dive right in. The other show is kind of goofy, quirky. No, not really like this quirky show. More of just a mixture of two passions that I have had for years. I've been in the beer industry and I'm a full-time reseller. So it was only natural to do a show like that. But let me know. Watch them both. They're both great shows. So thank you again, guys. And I wish you the best of luck, and I'll talk to you all soon. Don't be a stranger. I'm not going anywhere, really. I'm friends with you guys on social media, so I will chat with you soon.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.